Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for game number 2 in this best of 3. It's Alliance versus Cloud9, your winner bracket finals for Dreamhack Bucharest. We're casting here from the Beyond the Summit studio in Los Angeles. Of course, I'm LD, and I'm joined here today by Ben Merlini-Wu. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Good to be back for game number 2. Cloud9, just slightly more polished execution and very good use of Roshan. I love the item selection from Bone7 on his Clockwork. That Orchid got them at least like 5 or 6 kills they wouldn't have gotten without it. Wisp couldn't do anything against it, and they just ran away with it after that.
He had really good hook shots, too. I think that Alliance were about to escape with like a 1-for-0, like 1-for-1 a lot of the time, and he just turned a lot of the early game fights into Cloud9's favor and just slowed Loda's farm down so much.
All right, let's not waste any time. Draft's underway, folks. Let's go ahead and hop on into it. And yeah, we've got our custom draft overlay back. Yep, hooray indeed.
Am I good, Brian? Okay, I'm good.
Good, Ben. Well, Treant Protector's the first choice here from Cloud9, so something we saw earlier today. They picked it up in their first game against the... I keep on wanting to say Fluffy Bears. And Alliance will go ahead and take up a Darkseer here. So this is kind of denying Cloud9 what EG like to do, which is the tree Darkseer, sometimes even aggressive tri-lane, but, well... Darkseer first pick is not something that Alliance are known for running.
It also dissuades a TA pick, although I don't think Cloud9 will be as keen on taking it when they are on Radiant this game. It's really good at burning living armor, too.
Yeah, it's good at removing living armor charges. It's also good against, generally against supports that don't have stuns, though. That Boots first tree has actually just been bullying Darkseers out of lane from the few games we've cast, so...
But it is surprisingly high impact. I don't think I've seen as many First Bloods on level 1 heroes as Treant Protector with Leech Seed.
Yeah, Leech Seed was, I feel like, was chronically underrated until the past like month or two.
Well, everyone always complains about living armor, but Leech Seed is really, really strong too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they'll go into the Shadow Shaman here. Alliance are on the dire side, so they get that Roshan advantage off the bat. They had their shot at the TA. That's what Cloud9 went for, but they opt for the Darkseer instead, and now it's a Shadow Fiend out of Cloud9, so, well, probably going to be Sing Sing's hero for the mid lane, and a very early Shadow Fiend pick as well.
Shadow Fiend's really difficult to deal with the tree, and I don't really think that there are many heroes that match up well versus them at all. Even traditionally really strong heroes like Viper and OD will have trouble out-CSing him, I'd say. Viper probably a little bit less so, because it's really good for Treant Protector, but I don't think OD wins that matchup.
The other thing is, you can just, even if you shut him down a bit, he's probably one of the best comeback heroes mid, anyway, so.
Especially on Radiant.
Yeah. Easy to stack the woods himself, can go farm the lane safely, and nowadays it's a lot of Midas Shadow Fiend that we see, so won't be surprised at all if that comes out for Cloud9.
I wonder if they're going to go with an Enigma again. I don't think that it was terribly high impact, but he did have some pretty good BKB black holes, and the problem was they always got Loda and just died a lot. Combos really well with Shadow Fiend if they want to run that. Alliance, Darkseer, Shadow Shaman, unusual opener from them. EGM plays a pretty mean Shadow Shaman. I don't think I've ever seen Admiral Bulldog play Darkseer, though. Have you?
Yeah, though I don't think it was... You know, it wasn't particularly impressive, I would say. Like, cause even his like Clockwork, I would say, is much more up his alley. But I think they've also run it on S4 mid a few times. So I doubt we'll see that against Shadow Fiend, especially when the Shadow Fiends aren't Radiant. But yeah, let's see what they do. They went for the early Darkseer pick, and now they'll work on their final ban before we move into the second phase. Luna and Chen both banned out by Cloud9. They are very worried about the Shadow Shaman Darkseer Death Ball. And rightly so. That's kind of the LGD strat. Instead, Alliance go Vetomancer, so wards galore for them. And
could it be a Pugna Siege?
Pugna DK, maybe?
That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. DK doesn't match up well with Shadow Fiend at all, though.
DK matches up really well against Treant, though. We saw that the other day. His living armor is just useless. And with the surge from Darkseer, it's very hard to avoid the initiation.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Looks like Alliance's draft is a weird pentagonal shape. It looks like a really beaten house.
Looks like a partially crushed box.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't bode well for Alliance. Let's see if they can improve the shape and disposition of their draft here.
And Cloud9's, they have not too much counter, but Shadow Fiend's all
Are we going to see a
right.
Drow? Shadow Fiend Visage. They love to run their Visage Drow.
It would be terrible against push, though, which Alliance is already shaping out to be a very, very strong push lineup. So,
what else is there for Eternal Envy? Best
Best
5-man, counter 5-man carries left. Probably Gyro high on that
yeah.
list.
Gyro's really good. I mean, they don't even have to run a hard carry, too.
Maybe the EE Doom as well.
They could run Pugna on Cloud9, too. Just destroy Shadow Shaman. Very good versus Darkseer, too. It's a untraditional EE hero, and he didn't play that well at Starlighter, but it is something that they could use and just counter push with even faster push.
Yeah, maybe well, and he probably hasn't had much chance to practice it either since he flew back from Kiev to the west or to the US and then flies right back out to Romania like a day or two later. So, doubt he's gotten much training done during that time. Here comes Alliance's 4th pick. They have great team fight, decent lockdown. They are a pretty well-rounded draft, mainly lacking in physical damage at this point, and also lacking in just carry potential. And here comes the Magnus. S4 Magnus. Now, what will the last pick be? Back in the day, this would be either a Sven or a Gyro. If you go back to, like, even the Dreamhack winner 2012 with the Sven meta, which Gods always loves to flame.
Anti-mage would be cool.
Would be cool, actually. Cloud9 have 0 stuns, and they do go Drow. Shadow Fiend, Visage, Drow.
It's a lot of right-click. They need someone with like a decent amount of armor that just won't get crushed by BKBs. Magnus versus Shadow Fiend, not a great matchup for Magnus either, especially with Treant armor, so I don't expect Shadow Fiend to be under that pressure, at least not in the one-on-one matchup. Maybe if Shadow Shaman and Venomancer rotate a decent amount, then they can get a kill. But the thing about it, Alliances, like, if they get a kill in a lane, they can just transition that into a tower push so easily with Venom Ward Sieging and Shadow Shaman Ultimate. Cloud9, they also have a ton of pushing potential too. So much right-click power with those three.
Both teams really want their level 6. You want to have the Drow Ultimate, also the Visage Familiars, and then you can just reserve your Precision Aura activation for when the Familiars are in position to take down the tower. And for Alliance, obviously, they need the Shadow Shaman wards. Well, last few picks will come off the board after this final ban. The puck's been removed. Cloud9 do need an offlaner for Bone 7. Clockwork's out there. Used to be Clockwork with mid was a decent, like, kind of counter to Magnus mid. I know Bulba ran successfully, got a few solo kills back in the day, but outside of that for Bone 7, there's not really a ton of other options. They really need a tempo controller now. They can't afford to pick up a semi-carry or anything like that, so with the puck removed, I'm thinking Clock. I don't really see what else there is.
Yeah, Clock is probably the best pick for them.
And for Alliance, it's Gyro. Is one of the possibilities? Is there any chance we see something else like a Sven or?
I would like to see Sven. Sven has a ton of armor. What
was the improvement to Warcry? Was that it just lasts longer, so you have more uptime total on the spell?
I forget. I think it might be. I think it lasts longer, maybe like 12 to 16 seconds or something. I don't know. It was. We still haven't seen him picked up at all.
Yeah, in theory they've got some good heroes to kite him with, but there's a lot of lockdown to help, and you can buff him up too, make it for the just ultra, Arnold Schwarzenegger Sven. Give him the Ion Shell. No, Pugna. Okay. Well, totally different direction.
Yeah, it's either Pugna Siege or like a heavy melee cleaver late gamer. So.
Yeah, with the Magnus. So
but Magnus doesn't really fit into the push strat.
They could have gone Dragon Knight here. This is the thing. Like, Magnus is going to lose the lane to Shadow Fiend the same as the DK, but which one's going to push better? The DK is going to do a lot more than the Magnus.
Yeah, maybe they want some anti-BKB though. With Blink RP and a wall and a Shadow Shaman Ultimate and Pugna Ward and Veno, that's a lot of stuff to deal with. And if they had a DK, I don't know. I personally think DK would have been a lot stronger too, especially if they are going to go for a Pugna last pick.
It's just it's one of the many strategies that Cloud9 run, but one of their more like niche options is this Visage Drow Ranger combo. And as K-Poptos is pointing out, they have a really good record with it. They're very careful about when they pick it, and normally teams, when they see a Visage pick, will ban Drow Because normally, like, they'll take Visage in the first two, and then you just ban Drow on the second stage, but both were left out there, and, you know, Alliance did not want to take Drow themselves, so...
Still, their
Let's see how
anti-push
the
is really
combo
weak.
works.
Nyx is really good versus Pugna, but aside from that, like, they can't really stop the death ball. Not until they get a lot of farm.
Let's see how Lotus Pugna fares in this game. They'll probably be just running a defensive tri-lane here with the Magnus mid, the Darkseer off lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Not expecting anything too crazy from Alliance. Maybe the Veno
5
for Ake
seconds
moves
remaining.
around a bit, or even goes bottom at first, but realistically, Shadow Shaman, not the best support to have if you want to go aggressive, and their dire side as well.
Yeah, I don't think they can go aggressive. It's
Prepare
a little
for
bit too
battle.
hard to pressure. But actually, they're starting off down there. Maybe they wanna do it.
It's pretty risky to go aggressive with Shadow Shaman. Although, to be fair, I guess you look at Cloud9's draft, and
It's really
Visage, Drow, Tree is potentially strong. I always underrate the Tree in tri-lanes.
I do too.
So-
I look at him like, terrible. Terrible for the laning phase.
You just see a terrible hero that somehow keeps
He's
on
not a
winning.
terrible hero.
Yeah.
He's a great hero. I just think he's terrible in the laning phase. But
Yeah.
he's good at roaming.
He is a lot better in 3v1s, as we've discussed before, where you're going to start bullying supports. Okay, we'll go ahead and introduce the teams now. Is Alliance set up for a potential first blood attempt? We've got EGM playing the Shadow Shaman. He's been doing the drafting for them, at least in this series. Ake on the Venomancer, Admiral Bulldog is the off-lane Darkseer, and S4, the son of Magnus, on the Magnus mid. That leaves Loda to start things off alone on the safe lane. And on the side of Cloud9, up 1-0 in the best of 3, 1 win away from the grand finals. You have Pylai Die on the Treant Protector, AUI 2000 handling the Visage, Eternal Envy on his Drow Ranger, his Lady Love, Sing Sing going mid as the Shadow Fiend, and Bone 7 as the off-lane
battle
Nyx. So,
begins.
well, is the backstab going to work? That's the main question.
They have a very good ward setup though. That ward is so highly unlikely to be dewarded.
Well, there's a lane ward placed in a really good spot, though.
They know.
They know it's there, but they're going to have a very hard time getting off this ambush with this ward.
At the same time, they just think it's a solo Darkseer. And they think they might be smoked, potentially ganking Sing Sing in mid. So I don't think they'll expect this at all.
The last time that we saw this strat, I want to say it didn't work, because the team just kind of hugged, like, this side of the lane. But let's see what happens. Highlight Eye does come through. Bulldog trying to bait them in towards the trees. Envy still not really committing to this, and with the Treant Protector on the front lines, not really the hero you want to go on first. Oh, they're still lurking. Meanwhile, Sing Sing in the mid lane, and started with the early Wraith ban, and I guess the biggest issue is they got off quite a good creep block on the Radiant side, so in the end they'll just trot back. They'll kind of abandon this effort, and EGM will wrap around a bit, but no first blood coming up.
S4 also went for their early Empower build, so that just makes it so much more difficult for Sing Sing to CS. 5 and 3 on Magnus, and
The
only
Pugna
0
doing
and
well
2.
as well.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit like telltale for Admiral Bulldog too. He's like running straight into the trees every time instead of running back to your T1, so I think they suspected it.
Yeah, and it also comes back to the creep block. They didn't get the best block from Bulldog. So the creeps, I mean, bottom lane, well, a bit of an engagement on Bulldog. Out comes the Leech Seed, and this is what happens to that Darkseer. Although, the good news is they secured his level 2 right off the bat. It's a bit of an investment, but it does pay off.
Bone 7? So close to dying. Oh my goodness. I think he might die right here.
Loda, no mana. Is he going to walk in for a right click? No. Bone 7's going to regen up pretty quickly, and with the Tango here as well, he should be okay. Wrapping around his EGM, does he look for a Courier Snipe? Only 2 minutes in. Courier's back at the well, so he's not going to find it.
Shadow Fiend doesn't have enough CS to get bottle. I don't know if he's going to have it by 3 minutes, though.
Yeah, this is one of those rare times where farming your bottle very slowly is maybe a blessing in disguise.
Well, actually, S4 will go for the rune, so maybe this clears up enough time for Shadow Fiend to get his bottle. I think even if he gets all 3 of these creeps. Oh, he's actually getting boots first. So
maybe they will get sniped.
he has such a small window. It's like 10 seconds to kill it.
Oh, this could be game-changing, though, because he doesn't have the bottle on him yet. He hasn't bought one, even.
There it is. Go EGM, go!
He's got no boots though.
Oh, he's taking the long way around.
And it's so hard to run that courier down as a freaking Shadow Shaman with 285 move speed to the 350 of the courier, so it would have had to walk like right along here, basically.
Nicely played, nicely played. Nick Assassin just scouting out that area for anyone. S4 does have a DD, but no boots. Don't think he'll be able to catch Sing Sing with a skewer.
Yeah, if he did catch him though, he could may potentially kill him with the right clicks and already a level 2 shockwave up. So Magnus has a pretty decent base damage. You throw in the Empower and the DD rune. There's a slight kill potential here, but only slight.
Yeah, he has pretty good armor too. 5 armor.
Yeah, I remember when he just used to be impossible to zone out of the offlane back when he had the 1200 range level 1 skewer.
That was ridiculous.
That was one of the most ridiculous offlaners.
Oh, Magnus. He had his day.
How the mighty have fallen.
He had his heyday.
Sadly, it has passed us by.
I don't think I'm that sad about it.
I'm sad about it.
I'm not that sad.
Don't you miss those like LGD China games where they lose all their lanes and just take one rush fight and win the game? On the back of a Sylar anti-mage? I miss that. Lose the lanes, win the game. Not today, anyway. They'll try and defend this push top lane, but realistically, what are Nyx and a tree gonna do about it? Throwing out the Mana Burn on Loda. They are drawing the creep aggro, but also tanking the creeps quite a bit. And meanwhile, mid, AUI's rotated in, looking for this go on S4. Is there a double raise even available? Only a single raise mana on Sing Sing. So unless S4 makes a big mistake here, he should be A-okay. Well, he might make one. Just tinying out on the cliff right now. S4's vision. He doesn't see much bottom. Now eats a Grave Chill. He'll skewer out quickly. Yeah, they didn't find the right opening.
Yeah, that's so hard to get a kill on. Eternal Envy, 3-1-1 on him. Bottle picked up by Admiral Bulldog. A little unusual.
Yeah, they are running a Magnus mid who does use the runes and is decent at controlling them, so it's a bit unusual.
Yeah, usually you'll see... Oh, Bone 7 gets caught out.
There's a Gal here. Additional slow coming out from the Poison Sting through the ward, and now from the right clicks as well. They also connect with the Stretch Armstrong Shackles. Holding him in place. Loda, no mana, though. Even drops the ward. Did not have mana for a blast.
Just not enough
as
damage.
a result, and not enough damage in the end.
No deeps. Free gold for Bone 7.
I'll get the last hit, too. 20 gold in his pocket. Ward on cooldown, and surprisingly, the tower top is held on for 6 minutes. Just with that Nyx in a tree there.
Living armor, strong.
Well, when Bone 7 and the tower both need it, that's when you're in a slight pickle. Here come your boots for Bulldog. Oh, top lane, they've gone on Bone 7. They've started off with the Gale and now followed up with the Shackles, and this will be your first blood going the way of Alliance. Split evenly between the 3 heroes. Now they'll try and take down the tower. The rotation comes through from Pylai Dai.
They need to translate this into tower kill, though, and Nyx Assassin is only level 4, so he's going to be back up in 3 seconds' time, and Pylai Dai is constant living armor on the tower, and looks like Pugna's out of steam, too, so I don't even think they get this tower kill.
Yeah, Loda's back at base, in fact. He had to go all the way home to heal up. Now the Midas comes out for Eternal Envy. 6 minutes in, a pretty decent timing for the Midas. The Shadow Fiend's farming well mid. We'll probably see Sing Sing go for one as well, if history is our guide. And then the other key factor is getting the Visage level 6. AUI already level 4, so... Well, about to be level 4, so... All things considered, Cloud9 are doing pretty well despite giving up a first blood, I'd say.
It looks like the supports on Alliance are doing a better job about pulling, though, because they don't really have to defend their towers as closely as Treant Protector does.
Yeah, level 4... Well, level 4 on the Venomancer... And actually, the Shadow Shaman is the lowest level in the game. So, they're not doing too great. I guess the main thing is the cores of Cloud9 have been leached. The little more of their experience has been leached away by these supports.
Triple stack for Sing Sing. It's a lot of money.
It's
no
just,
bottle,
like,
though.
how do you contest this is the thing. It's just such a difficult camp to get to. Because of the way the Radiant mid lane is just structured. Oh, Bone 7, top lane. Does get a Carapace stun off, but not enough damage for him. He'll just get zapped down by the Nether Ward. Try to impale there, and now the Shackles come in onto Pylai Dai. The follow-up damage could be here from Lodi. Can Decrepify go for a blast and potentially get this kill? Indeed they will. They zap him down, and now the turnaround comes. Loda and EGM both forced to retreat back. The tower's finally in kill range until the TP comes in from Envy. He might be able to pick off some heroes now. Going onto Loda, focusing him down, but gets nuked down quickly as well. Gets him with the gust. Now needs to walk out quickly. Oh, they'll get the kill. 2 heroes fall. Tower was taken out by the Pugna, and Envy.
S4's coming from behind, though.
Not going to go down just yet. No TP, though. He just TP'd in to start this one off. He RPs AUI, skewers him back towards his teammates where EGM's waiting. Now the zap. They get the kill, but they don't get Envy, who hid in the trees, and he'll sacrifice AUI to save his own life.
S4's really been opting for power treads almost every time over arcanes, and ever since a new blink, it looks like. Gives him a lot more damage, I'd say. A lot more burst damage because he can just right click a lot more times with power treads, but at the same time he does have mana issues, and generally you want a couple arcane boosts to pair with Pugna so that you can sustain your pushes, but it looks like EGM will take up the helm as the second bearer of arcane boots.
Yeah, with double arcane already, then I think this is the more optimal build overall. In terms of maximizing your own damage output and also potentially making you tankier in key engagements, so every little bit of HP will help against Cloud9, who have quite a bit of mid-game damage output. And Sing Sing will go for his Midas here. While he's busy going for the Midas, Alliance look to punish the Greed with some continuous tower aggression, but Cloud9 are rotating heroes in all over the place to try and hold on. 2 heroes, 3 heroes coming in mid. They've also got Eternal Envy in the region. The tier 1 top is one thing, but they do not want to be giving up this tier 1 mid without a fight.
Yeah, that's going to be Midas number 2 in just a couple of seconds.
Sentry Ward dropped down on the high ground here, fishing for a Radiant Observer, and also potentially scouting out for the Nyx ganks, who is in fact under cover of Vendetta, just waiting mid for Bone 7.
All his mana is getting drained away though. The mana burn is strong.
No, the ward's finally expired.
Well, Bulldog will toss load a couple of his bottle charges, but still 644 HP on Pugna. If they get the jump on him with anything, he is dead.
And he's going, it appears to be a Necro Book build from him with the early Staff of Wizardry. Who's going to build the mech? I guess it'll be Bulldog. Yeah, he's got Arcane Boots as well. Nyx Mana Burn is going to be very scary if this game goes on too long. Carapace on Loda, he just gets nuked down.
Nyx is so good versus Pugna though. Yeah. That's the problem with
this
Pugna.
hero has, what is it, 4 int gain, I believe, per level?
His HP is butt. And now they can't really continue to siege. EGM is level 6. He could just drop the wards if they really want to take the fight.
I think it's worth it. It's a tier 1 mid, and I don't know if they get this tower too easily without another blast or the wards available. Silence comes in from Eternal Envy from the sidelines. Not yet committed to the fight. The Impales here only connects on the creep. Then they will manage the familiar stun S4. From the high ground, Envy's just chipping away at Ake. Such a nuisance. And finally, S4 has had enough. RPs him, turns his body around to just pull Envy a bit closer. Nicely done by S4. Pulls him towards the team, secures the kill, and now the chase is on. Look for Bone 7. Carapacing that stun once again, and it just does so much damage. Not enough, though. Isolated. Drop down. Even the Darkseer wall thrown in here. They'll clean that up with the wards and the Nether Blast. They also get the kill on the Drow. Sing Sing does hold on. He picks up his Midas. Now has his treads.
They need a mech. So badly, though.
For Alliance.
Yes. I think he would have one, too, if he didn't buy the Staff in the Belt of Giant Strength. And I think Admiral Bulldogs is going to come out a little bit too late unless he has some stuff on Chicken, which he doesn't look like it.
Yeah, 4 int gain per level. It is absurd. There you go. There's your knowledge bomb for the day, huh?
So this is a nice attempt to punish double Midas, but at the same time, I don't know if they've gotten enough accomplished. Alliance is ahead by 3,500 gold with 2 towers. That's very tenaciously. That's, ooh, I don't know. C9's late game is just so damn formidable that you'd really want to be up ahead of a lot of kills and a lot of towers.
This could be the key item, though. Getting the Blink Dagger. Mech is very important. Oh, Loda. So squishy, this game. But getting the Blink Dagger, potentially this can set up some kills for the mid. S4 is lurking, though, and now he's been spotted out by the Radiant Squad. Oh, I did miss a kill bottom on Loda. Just died to the Familiars, but mid lane, they also go into Bulldog here with the Drow Silence. They secure the kill. Yeah, that was just the Familiars killing him by himself. In comes the skewer from S4. He could no, doesn't even have an RP. Sing Sing trying to go to work here with the right-click damage from the Drow Ranger R as well. He just starts melting them. They take down the tower too. And the other kill was Bulldog, well, Bulldog's Darkseer, and yeah, the Pugna died bottom just to Familiars from AUI. There was no other heroes bottom lane. It was just purely the Familiars burning him down. I think it was the Precision R usage that got the kill.
Dire's middle
He
tower is
actually
under
canceled his TP too. That was a nice play from Owie. Pugna was trying to TP mid, and the defense would have been a lot easier had they had Pugna ward.
They can go for Ward Trap on Envy. Don't even need to. They will find him. Another death potentially. Gets off the Gust. Tries to retreat out. The living armor. So frustrating until the RP. Now it's a 2-for-1 special if Saint Saint's not also careful. A haste run on S4. Son of Magnus. Delivers again. They needed that. They needed it bad. They get a double kill, and they get it on the 2 cores. What a great turn for Alliance.
Yeah, that was huge. Nice RP by S4. Not that difficult to execute, but still. I like S4's Magnus. He doesn't hesitate very often with the RPs. Uses it far more often than most of the other Magnuses I see.
Loda is still working towards the Necrobook. I'll have the recipe pretty soon, but it's not, like you said, the mech is really crucial for these types of pushing drafts, and
Instantly
not
just
that
doesn't
close.
die to Nyx. Like, Nyx is destroying him. Bone 7 has just been carepessing the Nether Blast and then just Mana Burn Impale, and he's almost dead at that point.
yeah, one more nuke, just like a right click from the Drow, and he's toast. And this is the point in the game where Alliance have to worry about the split push from the Familiars as well as the Drow Precision are cooling down in 1 second, and the active will be available. They can just pop it, unload on the tower, and we'll probably see it melting in a few seconds' time. Familiars will lose their damage bonus for now, but even without the Precision R activation, it's still an easy tower kill. And meanwhile, Alliance are forcing a tier 2 bottom. They're going for the trades. Bone 7 on the front lines. He does get off the Impale, connects it on 2. Then the follow-up, but the Blink Skewer in. They've isolated Envy on the backside. Then the wall gets dropped. Bulldog will beat the retreat. They lost their tier 1 top, but they got something in return there. Another kill into Envy. Saint trying to bring down the ward. Will do it in time, but Pylite Die throws his own life away. And now Cloud9 are forced back. Do they have any more Shadow Shaman wards? Oh, cooling down in 8 seconds. Earn charges. He's got 5 of them. Should be popping these on his teammates, and he'll do it now. Deploys one on Bulldog. And I guess that's the good news. Sure, they don't have a mech, but they'll have it soon, and they have the Earn for now. It's enough to take a tier 2. The trade is also 2 deaths for Cloud9 and like tier 1 top going their way, so not a bad trade. Do Alliance try and force high ground? They could drop wards here. They can maybe bring the tower down to about half HP, but they could also just drop wards on the mid lane and potentially even take a tower there.
Sieging high ground in 15 minutes. Strength of Pugna.
Yep.
They need a lot of wards, though. Not only Rasta wards, but also Pugna wards. Looks like it will not continue. Surprised Aki went for Tranquils instead of Arcane. Still think they need more mana on Pugna.
They only have... Well, they do have... They have the Darkseer Arcane Boots as well, so it's actually triple Arcane Boots. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Finally, he completes the Necrobook. There's a tiny bit more HP, but well, the issue is also that his mana pool is just so damn high. I mean, Pugna with 1,200 mana. Necro 2 comes out. This is a lot.
No minus armor, though, on them, and Pugna's still relatively squishy at 910 HP, but C9, they have no clue that this is going on right now. Don't see anyone making a move towards it, and it's not completely unexpected. It's just so difficult to stop. You know, just so many things to fight under.
Yeah, Cloud9 also having a double damage run up on Sing Sing, but they're not ready to fight yet. They desperately need his BKB for the upcoming engagement. If he can get it off, Alliance, sure, if they have RP, they have decent physical damage with the wards, but mainly it would come down if they get a nice ward trap off. If not, Sing Sing might be able to defend the high ground here. As for Envy, signature Mask of Madness build, he'll just be looking to split push and kite around Alliance, but with no Blink Dagger yet, it's a tough engage for him. They've taken on the tier 2 top. Cloud9 just try to cinch the noose a bit in terms of forcing Alliance back and not allowing them to continue their pressure. Just deftly jabbing and counter-punching back, but Alliance will take the tier 2 mid. This is your bigger prize, and with the tier 2 down bottom and mid, it's time to threaten the high ground. Aegis up on the Pugna. Pretty much all the ingredients for the push are here. The mech's there as well. They'll deploy a Sentry Ward. Then they start dropping down some Shadow Shaman, well, Venomancer wards to start. Probably the Shadow Shaman.
Look at top lane. Sing Sing with a DD.
RP though, they found him. S4 skewers 2 back in. Then the Shadow Fiend will just pop like a pinata. Down he goes.
So much for that push.
Push is over, folks.
Nice Ion Shell of Magnus. That was a ton of damage during that RP just from the Ion Shell.
He needs the BKB as well. I mean, if he had it there, maybe he lives, but yeah, nonetheless, great counter initiation by S4. And the siege continues, not unchecked mid. but it will be as soon as they drop wards. They'll wait for S4 to get back here. They'll wait to have 5, and then I imagine we'll see them actually force this a little bit more.
They use Necro Book. They want to get it right now.
They're going to drop it now. They are fighting 3v5. The wards are quickly being plinked away. Envy kills off quite a few. He'll look to bring down some more. Bulldog trying to tank the auto attacks. Now forced to surge out. The Nyx is threatening for a stun. The tower's low. They need to bring it down, though. One more Nether Blast secures the kill, and Alliance are just going for the checkmate move now. Try and take a mid lane of Rax. Very early on, they found Envy again. S4's had his number all game long, and once more he falls to the Blink Skewer. He buys back instantly. He knows they can't give up Rax this early, even if it costs him a buyback. It's worth it to hang on. He TP's in, and they'll clean out the Necro Books. But the damage was done. Next push with the wards might be the Rax.
Yeah, and they still have Aegis on Loda. So BKB will be up on Shadow Fiend by the time this next push comes out. So that's a little bit scary. But at the same time, they have a lot of physical damage, and they have Wall to kind of try to deal with them too.
I'm a little worried about Alliance going too heavily into mass Necros, because Shadow Fiend, like you said, is going to have BKB, and Drought will probably go for one soon. Maybe Blink first, but if they don't end the game with the next few pushes, then you've got a useless item. Shadow Fiend will just right-click them.
Here comes a smoke gank. S4 isn't there. He does have RP up.
Blink Impale, that finds 2. Bone 7 gets the 2-for-1 special. Loda is, for the time being, okay, though, able to get mech'd up, turn it around. Sing Sing unlines the Requiem, brings Loda low. That's just the Aegis that pops, though, and S4 is just hanging on the sideline. He skewers Bone 7 forward. He wants to find an RP here and isolate Sing Sing, and he'll find 2-for-1. S4 doing it again, baby! And now down the mid lane, 16-6.
What a freaking
What
Magnus.
a godly Magnus performance this has been. 6-0-7. The team has 16 kills. He's been involved in 13, and well, it seems Alliance has found their stride here. That first BKB usage for the Shadow Fiend, just not enough.
And it's just the double Midas from C9, and it's just super high greed. You kind of have to see the push coming early too, with the Shadow Shaman and the Venomancer picked up so darn early, and they just did not draft well around it. They drafted for themselves instead of against the team they're playing against.
Yeah, well, or even more like against like the lineup that they're playing against.
Yeah, against the lineup. Yeah, it was just. It was in their comfort zone, but Alliance had a very specific draft, and just a lot of non-summoned units, like no actual movable units, and just constant plinking away at towers with Venom Wars and Rasta Wars.
Late game secured for S4.
It's too much.
Carry Magnus, man.
Well, so much
Magnus
for
is actually not
physical damage.
He is not a terrible. I mean, he's not a natural carry, but his damage output is pretty insane. If you get like Battle Fury, Mask of Madness. Maybe a Daedalus on top of that.
And Ion Shield, too. Like, he can probably kill, like, 3 or 4 heroes by his lonesome with that.
And you factor in the wards with potentially a little bit of splash on top of the RP as well. It's a lot of damage.
Well, that is 2 sets of racks. That's
pretty much
early.
Checkmate. They have Ags up on the Shadow Shaman as well. And the level 2 ward, so he'll get 2 more wards here, and he'll just be a complete nuisance in the push. I don't think Cloud9 can defend this next push, honestly, Ben. I think they're toast.
Well, Aegis might expire. If Aegis expires right before and they get a kill on Pugna, I think they can defend.
The thing is, he's not squishy anymore, though. He's got Point Booster and Ogre Club.
That's true. Too much tower gold. Gold lead is 10,000. A little ridiculous. Shadow Fiend just can't do anything without, with just a BKB at this point.
Very reminiscent of how Vici Gaming was playing at EMS, just going for the Pugna and just the early mech builder and the Darkseer and just 5-manning a tower.
Yeah, it didn't seem like Magnus fit into the strat very well, but it just offers them so much teamfight control, and it's been able to pick off Eternal Envy so many times that he's not going to get BKB by the time this game's over.
I think the main thing is Dragon Knight on paper might be the better hero for this kind of style, but Magnus is just the better fit for S4 as a player. Here comes the backstab. Cloud9 are going to force something from the side. They'll look for the initiation here. Loda's trotting way off. He's on his own, isolated. Now we'll take a gust. Bulldog does jump in, unloads the wall. The overgrowth is there to follow up, but on the sidelines it's S4 with the 2-hero RP and giving him the right clicks now. He brings down another. Everyone scatters to the winds. Envy being chased down by a Shadow Fiend illusion. One more right click. The ward gets the kill. 4 heroes dead. GG. Cloud9 gets thwomped 22 minutes in. And we're going to a game 3.
Pugna strong hero. We were talking to Loda at Starlighter, and he's like, well, my team, I keep telling them they should pick Pugna. He can put Tiger on at 15 minutes, and kind of exactly what happened.
Yeah, he's basically just one of the best heroes to punish greed.
C9 should not have gone for double minus and mass right click into late game. They had late game secured, but they didn't even get anywhere close to late game. So very well drafted by EGM. He kind of like masked it, I suppose, with the Shadow Shaman. And then once I saw the Venomous, I was like, okay, they're gonna push. But C9 apparently didn't see it coming, didn't draft around it, and didn't play around it either.
Yeah, I agree. It was like when you saw the Magnus pick, I was mentioning Sven Gyro with Darkseer Mag. It definitely seemed possible, but
Yeah.
they went a totally different direction. It worked out beautifully for them, guys. That wraps up game number 2. Alliance Force a deciding game 3. Winner of this guaranteed top 2 finish, and I think even more importantly, they get to rest. They get to watch the loser bracket finals, which will be the final match of today after the series, and then they come back, hopefully refreshed for your final days of action, your grand finals, which will be tomorrow, bright and early. But with that being said, I'm LD. He's, of course, Merlini, and we were joined here today by K-Pop Tosis manning the stats. We'll be back in just a moment for game number 3. Stay tuned.